So it's our first full day in Lisbon. Not a very good day. It's a little bit rainy and it's cold. Hopefully the rain stops. Behind me is the National Pantheon. This is our first site that we're seeing in the city. Amalia Rodriguez was born here. She's the queen of Fado. Fado is like a performance art here, kind of similar to flamenco, we think, although we haven't actually seen it yet, but I think it's kind of like that. So we're now in the Pantheon, and we didn't know this before we came in here, but there is a cenotaph for Vasco da Gama. He's the most famous Portuguese person ever, pretty much. He discovered the sea route to the Indian Ocean, so that obviously helped Portuguese become a world power. So we've climbed the 71 stairs to the top of the Pantheon, and this is our view. And the view from the other side, a couple cruise ships. And there's a bridge way in the distance there, which is the longest bridge in Europe.
This place is beautiful. Alright, so we left, and I thought that all these buildings were pretty cool looking, but the main reason we're filming this is because of this building. It's really pretty.
This section of the city is called Alfama. This is where we're staying as well, and it's supposed to be Moorish. And this is kind of the first thing that actually looks Moorish. It's a really awesome part of the city. It just doesn't look as Moorish as I expected.
Do you think that it could have been more Moorish? We just entered this awesome store, and they have different types of perfume that you can smell test, and it's marketed as like a bar museum that you can smell all the smells and mix and match, and I just had a really good time smelling a bunch of different things with Tegan, and they were playing ABBA, so it's a complete win-win. We're liking the architecture here and the design. Iron rod balconies, different textures. Oh, cool, huh? Enjoying this. Not so much the weather, though.
So this here is Commerce Square. It's pretty much the center point of the city. The guy in the middle on the horse there is King Joseph I. He ruled Lisbon during the Reconstruction after the earthquake in 1755. And the arch back there is a tribute to Vasco da Gama, that we talked about earlier at the Pantheon. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this.
It says all of the rooms behind, on the yellow parts of the walls up there, the second and third floors are government offices.
Oh.
And then on the bottom is restaurants and stuff.
Awesome. We're at the Museum of Beer. Tia really wants her beer. Justin and I, we couldn't decide as to what beer we should try, so we got a dark, an amber, and a blonde. And we figured we'd get large since there's two of us, but they are huge. And we have a baby, so I think people think that we're nuts. But anyways, we also got, what is this called? A codfish pastry?
Yeah, it's a cod cake. Cod cake, or cod in general, is kind of big here, so.
And there's cheese inside of it, so we're gonna give it a shot. Very good. It tastes very similar to crab cake, but it's cod.
Cool. I'm sold on that.
I'm gonna wash it down with this gigantic amber beer. We also got a cheese platter and bread to eat it with, since we apparently have an endless stomach. But look, I mean, this beer is gigantic. It's the size of a tea. And we've got 3, so.
It's 60 centiliters, so it's less than 2 beers each. So we're drinking like 5 beers. Oh look, they got 3 beers.
Yeah, but there's like 5 people in that family. Alright, we're at the Carmo Ruins and Archaeological Museum. In 1755 there was a massive earthquake and it ruined everything, and there's no ceiling now because of it. But the ruins are pretty awesome. Archways, it gives it like this nice, like, I don't know, it's just like this awesome feeling. Especially since it's gloomy out and it's Halloween, so this is like perfect. If there's mummies over here. There's tombs over here, and oddly enough, there's this random video of two hands wearing gloves, taking off the glove in a very sensual manner. And then they go underneath a red blanket as if to reenact sex between the hands. Like, why would they have this in a church? That's beyond creepy.
Tonight we came out into the Bairro Alto neighborhood for some tapas, and we're just our plan is to get a couple tapas here, a couple tapas there, just go to place. First on the agenda is cuttlefish salad. Did not expect it to look or taste like this. I was afraid it was filled with olives when I first saw it, but it's pretty good.
It's fantastic. We think it's in its own ink. It's black. It's kind of hard to see because this place is only like candlelit, but
yeah.
But you can tell by Justin's lips they're starting to get a little dark. Yeah. Oh god, it's definitely ink. We're fans of ink. We ordered fried mackerel. It's delicious. A lot of car traffic here, but I wanted to still film the different buildings. There's tile, there's paintwork, there's stucco, there's a little bit of everything. Makes for nice scenery. Boop. Wow, you see it? The front part is lifted up, so it can be flat. Oh my goodness. I guess at some point it's going to tilt down. See the front.
So we're now at the Jardim de San Pedro de Alcantara. I think I remember that correctly. Basically it's just a lookout point. And it says it's a really good view. And I guess it's a good view, but it's, you know, obviously restricted by the weather here, but nonetheless, that's the view. That's actually the direction we walked from today. And if you see the castle on the top of the hill, we're staying on the other side of that. And it didn't really feel like we walked that far, but
yes, it did.
We did. We took a lot of breaks along the way and drank a few beers and ate some cheese and some fish balls, cakes.
Alright, smile, Tegan! 3, 2, 1! Happy Halloween!
We're dressed up like tourists.
Yeah, we're tourists for Halloween. Now we're gonna walk away, and for the rest of the night, we're gonna be on this monastery.
So we just stumbled into this bookshop, and it said that according to the Guinness Book, this is the oldest bookshop in the world. So it's day 3 in Lisbon, our second full day. We finally have a really nice day, so we're excited about that. We're on the walk up the hill to St. George's Castle, which is kind of in the middle of the city. This, by the way, this city is very hilly. It's all up and down every day. Maybe the hilliest city we've ever been to.
For sure.
So we bought our first piece of art on the trip. Caught my eye as we walked past. I like it. It was from this lady over there.
Alright, so we bought our tickets for the castle and we rounded the corner, and here's a bunch of peacocks. There's 3 right here. then there's another 3 over here. This one is particularly beautiful. Must be the male. Right, Tiki? As we know in nature, a lot of the brightly colored animals, especially birds, are males. Right? The females usually are brown.
So we are now entering the actual castle. There have been a couple times when I thought we were entering, but I think now it's pretty obvious that we're actually entering.
We're certain now. Pretty easy to get lost in here. Eventually we're gonna go up on the wall and walk around the rim of the castle. But for now we're just exploring the bottom.
I'm not lost.
Oh, well I am.
Speak for yourself.
Do you think that's like a little oven? It looks like it would be.
Yeah, looks that way up.
Maybe this was the kitchen? And maybe, look at your wife putting this together. Maybe that area was the refrigeration area. You know how they always have it kind of deeper?
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
I bet you. Should we look it up? Let's
sure.
make a bet.
So we finally made it onto the castle wall. It feels weird that usually when you go into a castle, it feels like the oldest part of the city. But the part of the city we're staying in, Alfama, it feels just as old as this. And over here, we have a pretty nice view. Also helped out because the sun's out finally.
This castle isn't too big. It's just kind of 2 giant rooms, right? For the most part, 2 giant rooms.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
It is. That's
I mean,
what she
cool,
said.
But basically, anytime you climb a castle wall, it is gonna always pale in comparison to Dubrovnik.
I was just gonna say Dubrovnik. That was so awesome. What do you think, baby? You like that? Tegan's really excited for her first European bus ride. Right, Tegan? Yeah! We're now at the Jeronimos Monastery. It was built in the 16th century, and it's a great example of Portuguese late Gothic Manolan style. It's beautiful.
It's really cool looking.
It's huge. I love the door right there.
So we just entered the Jeronimos Monastery, and first thing that we've seen is pretty awesome. Definitely worthy of World Heritage Site status.
Yeah.
And we were saying that if this was in like a bigger city, this place would probably be kind of more famous. Like I've never heard of this place before, but this is pretty spectacular.
It is.
If this was in
exquisite.
Paris or something, this would be a lot more well known, I think.
Yep. Agreed. Look at the ceiling, it's just epic. How beautiful. Some nice tourists gave us a tip that there is another section where you could buy tickets, and we're able to completely bypass the line, which was in the sun and just taking forever. So that was really sweet of them to do that. The ticket price was the same where Justin ended up going, and we got to cut the line. Wow. It's just such fine detail. We're now in the center. Just do a little 360-roo. Beautiful. Our little sleeping baby. She comfy cozy in there?
Not moving. Comfy or dead.
Yes. Here's the cathedral inside. Oh my goodness. Wowie, wowie, wowie. We believe that this whole thing is about like 6 stories high. These columns are just...
I mean, that's just a total guess. That's not based on any like reading here.
Yeah, well, You can see how tiny the people are down there in relation. Those columns. It's so cool.
So we just exited the monastery and it was amazing, but like the only part that you could enter is like basically from here over. That's like the actual church and that courtyard thing, and like all of that down there is totally off limits. So it's a little disappointing that we weren't able to see what's down there. I'm sure it was also as awesome down there.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not holy enough. So right now we're in a place called Pastéis de Belem, and pastéis is a custard tart that is pretty famous in this part of the city, and this is the most famous place that serves that. So there's a huge line outside. That was for takeaway. We did read that if we came inside to get a table, it would be a shorter wait, so that's what we're doing. We're going to sit down anyway. Kind of has like a Café du Monde feel. Café du Monde from New Orleans.
For those other pastries that they're famous for, it's through the window. Justin and I decided to call it. We're not waiting anymore. This is the line going all the way outside. We're hungry. Too hungry to wait. Tegan's just really excited to be alive. Right? Yeah.
So we're still in Belem now, and we're now at the waterfront, and this behind me is called the Monument to the Discoveries. I guess this is probably the most iconic monument in Lisbon. Pretty much the only thing I knew of Lisbon before researching for the trip. So here we are. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be.
That's what she said.
And it's kind of cool with the sun setting and the bridge in the background. So this here is the Belem Tower. It's one of the biggest sites in the city. And it was originally a palace where when the explorers left Lisbon, this was the last thing they saw. And when they returned, it was the first thing they saw. And later on, it became a political prison. And today it's a tourist site. We're here past the closing time, so we can't go inside. Although we're not sure if we would anyway. It doesn't seem like it would offer the best view of the city around here. Just because it's kind of more flat here than compared to where we're standing, or where we're staying. But it looks nice with the sunset behind it.
Sure does.
And it's just down the river from the Monument of the Discoveries. You can't see it from here.
Oh, yeah, bummer. But it was right there. That's where it is. Then the monastery is back there.